But before we get into all that, today's video is brought to you by the Mike's Unboxing Dual Action Pen and Stylus, which you can pick up from the links in the video description. This pen is fantastic for writing purposes, and also with the soft stylus tip, you can use this to control your Android device, your iPad, your iPhone, or any other touch devices. So if you're a little bit scared of signing for things from deliveries, couriers, that kind of thing, grab your Mike's Unboxing Dual Action Stylus pen and you can sign away in complete safety and style. Okay, that's enough self-publicising, let's get into the video. And good evening, welcome. It is Saturday, the 6th of the 2nd, 2021. Hopefully you're all having some fun out there in YouTube land and ready for some entertainment on your Saturday evening. And hopefully you've got some interesting questions for me to answer. I have got the spectacles on. I am suffering from what appears to be some kind of inner ear infection, which is making me dizzy as crap and is really, really off-putting. So I'm hoping the glasses are going to help. It seems to be when I'm scrolling on the screen. So if I don't answer your questions or I suddenly look away from the camera and I'm like, oh, it's just a dizzy spell. Don't worry, I'm not dying. Well, fingers crossed anyway. That's enough about me. Let's hear about you guys. Actually, no, let's hear about us. This week we've hit our 50k subscribers, which is absolutely awesome. And actually, it's probably mostly down to you guys that watch on a regular basis. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you that have regularly participated in this madness. And for those of you that are new here, if you don't know what this is all about, you will soon find out. And for those of you that are really new here, probably won't know what the RGB light is all about. And the RGB bulb is a warning so that I know that someone has dropped a super chat into the chat and it sets off the RGB, etc, etc. So actually we've got a couple of super chats in already. So Outlaw Fett has come in first of all with 79 pence. Thank you, Outlaw Fett. Appreciate that. And also we have the ugliest man on the earth, Ugly Bob. Although he does look pretty fetching in a set of heels, to be fair. He's given us £5 and says 50k subs. Whoop, whoop. I agree entirely, Bob. Whoop, whoop, indeed, young man. And let's all of us welcome as well our Canadian brethren, Skystalker, who is a little bit under the weather still and is recuperating, and touch wood, will be fine and fighting fit very, very soon. So all of you, please send some of your thoughts and best wishes to Skystalker. He's a lovely, 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 sweet, special man. He really, really is. That's enough of that. I've set up the camera slightly differently tonight. So I've got this camera here, which is the usual boring BS view, which you're all used to seeing. But over adjacent to my other side is the question cam. So I can read your questions and look at you guys whilst I'm doing it, which is, some people have said that it's a little bit weird when I'm reading questions or I'm looking at the screen and you don't get to see eye contact. And there we go, there's some eye contact right there, ladies and gents. So I can look at the screen, look at you guys, or kind of look slightly off at you, and hopefully not make myself physically sick trying to read the questions. That is the main point of it. Sorry about the quality of the webcam. To be fair, it's shit and it does need replacing, but it's COVID times and I'm not spending a ridiculous amount of money on a decent webcam. No effing chance. Anyway, let's get back to the other camera. And hopefully that was a seamless transition into absolute darkness. Thank you, super chatters. So that is that another one from Outlaw Fett? It is another 79p. Watch out, your piggy bank will be virtually empty.
Thank you.
Dorianti, or Dory, says, what do you use to polish your head? I use nothing but the natural oils and grease of a 40-something-year-old man in a slightly warm and muggy environment. That is all that is required. Although I have been known to work kind of part-time in a motor accessories store, so I'm sure if the boss man was about, he would be certainly recommending me a little bit of Sonax. What's the one? Oh, I can't think what it is. It's a yellow trigger one. It's a wax. It's really good. He would recommend that for my bonds. Although I think it's all right as it is. Got a little bit of stubble coming through on the top at the moment, so it feels a little bit unusual. Lazy. That's all it is. Lazy. Absolutely lazy. So let's say hello to those of you that are in with us in the chat. And we've got 46 of you crazy sods in with us at the moment. Mike Games was first. Respect to you, Mike. Well done. Great name. Like it a lot. Paul Bakewell's in. Mike Games, Outlaw Fet, Ghost Adder,
I'm not getting all these.
Mr. Donuts,
Apologise for me not saying
the ugliest man on planet, Ugly Bob. John Sullivan says howdy. And Ja2016 says hello. Well, hello. Never going to get tired of doing that. Never. Paul Bakewell says, has anyone tried to do an RMA with TP-Link? What a nightmare. I don't think I have, actually. Netgear I probably have. TP-Link I don't recall. Don't think I have. TP-Link. No, don't think I have. John Sullivan says, fortunately not. MSI was bad enough for me. Do you know what? MSI, like, don't get me wrong, I love MSI products. At the moment, well, you can see behind me currently, there is a MicroStar International, which is the official name of the keyboard, MicroStar International. That is the GK20, I think. I've got the GM30 mouse. In there is the Mag B550 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi motherboard. So it's fair to say there's some MSI here. There really, really is. Some of it was sent for review. Some of it I purchased. Another mouse there, which I purchased, the GM11. The motherboard I purchased myself. I like MSI. I like MSI stuff. I genuinely do. But their special offers thing and actually trying to redeem a voucher has been an absolute ball ache. Seriously. Like, I would have rather taken one of those long wooden skewers that you put meat on right through the old downstairs department than have to deal with MSI's cashback thing. And I'll have to have a look in a minute. I'm pretty sure that they still haven't honoured it. I bought the motherboard from eBuyer in the UK, so shame on you also eBuyer. Because eBuyer didn't send me an invoice for the motherboard I bought, even though they took the money, but it hadn't actually been shipped, because they didn't honour the receipt, what I printed out or what I actually had that I could send to MSI to say, look, I've got it before the time limit has ended. They're like, sorry, that invoice is no good. It's like, well, what can I do? That is all I've got. It says on the site, buy this board, get £25 cash back, blah, 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 blah. So you think, in good faith, yeah, that looks like a smashing board. Absolutely smashing. I'm going to buy that. I'm going to get my £25 back. Not a chance in hell. And they still haven't done it. So actually, I've got a good mind. Well, to be honest with you, I've kind of given up on the whole aspect of it. But it really does piss me off that I actually, at the point, recommended people to buy that board, saying, look, get £25 cash back. And for anyone else who's gone for it and is going through the same thing as me, firstly, I hope your testicles aren't aching as much as mine, because mine are just heavy with pain right now. But it's just such a pain. Why make it so difficult? Just make the bloody boards cheaper. Don't worry about redemption or vouchers or cashback or whatever. Just make it cheaper in the first place. You'll sell more and it's easier and it saves people being pissed off. Especially people who are on the internet who are going to tell other people about it. Come on, MSI. Sort your shit out. Seriously. Anyway, that's enough of that. Thanks for bringing that subject up of RMAs and returns. That's really, yeah, that's got the blood pumping, that has. Ugh. Have you guys seen the new case from MSI? I don't even remember the name of it because I'm not going to buy it anyway, but Steve, good old Steve, the tech Jesus over at Gamers Nexus reviewed it today, and it's a barbecue box. It's ridiculous. It's got fans for decoration, it's got glass covering up pretty much everything that would possibly be ventilation. It is an absolute sack of shit. It really, really is. How does it even happen? How? I think it was it Abcon Core that did it as well? They did the case with like 12 fans in and every single fan was blocked off. How does that even get past like stage 1 of design? It's like, right, okay guys, design 101, right, we've got some fans, what should we do? Should we put some holes behind them? Nah, holes cost money, let's just leave it solid. No one will know, it still looks great. Dicks. Absolute dicks. Why? Just like someone surely in the meetings, I know what it's like, you go to these places, high pressure environments, I've been there, I've been in like managerial meetings, and everyone's a bit like, oh, you're hanging on to your jobs and that, and you've got the big boss who reels out this prototype and goes, look at this is our idea for the future, isn't it wonderful? And all the other ass kissers are there going, oh, well done boss, you're brilliant, we love you. And then you're there thinking, you're a tosser. What have you actually done? And you look around at all the other tossers and you're thinking, is no one going to say anything? And they don't. And eventually products like the Abcon Core box and the MSI 500 thing, whatever it is, come out. And they're like, why aren't we not getting some rapturous applause for this? People should be loving this. Look at the design. Look at the beautiful lights and designs and the lack of airflow in the glass and things. Right, that's got me off of that one. I'm not going to mention that again. Let it be the last of it. Okay, James Miscellaneous is with us. James Miscellaneous, for those of you who don't know, if you're new here, James Miscellaneous is a regular contributor to Mike's Unboxing and is a long-time friend of the channel. Also has a fantastic channel of his own, which if you're suffering with any form of insomnia or kind of sleep deprivation and you want to be gently lulled off to sleep, check out James Miscellaneous. His content is absolutely perfect for that kind of thing. Sorry, James. Sorry, not sorry. Ah, dear. Skystalker, his blood alcohol content is lowered rapidly. That is not good. That is not good. And has anybody seen Chunky Weenie yet?
No, but...
Where's Chunky Weenie?
Captain...
I know it's cold out there right now, ladies and gentlemen, but even sort of shriveled Weenie should be somewhere,
Chunky
surely.
Captain Meat wondered if he had sore testicular regions.
Excuse me?
Captain Meat wondered if he had sore testicular regions.
If he has?
If Chunky Weenie has.
Oh, Chunky Weenie, he probably has. He probably is chafed. Skystalker says, what's up, Mike? You okay? Yeah, I'm not too bad. Got this weird inner ear thing going on, and it's really freaking me out. I thought it was because of my new monitor, because I got one of those curved monitors, and it's a 32-inch bad boy, so I'm actually like probably that close to it, because I'm like blind as a bat. Where's the screen? I can't really see it that well. I can, I'm joking. My eyesight isn't that bad, but I'm wearing the glasses just in case. It's an image thing. They're cool. They're made by Caterpillar, so I feel like I'm a tough trucker. Try saying that after a few pints. Yeah, so the monitor is curved. It's 165 hertz, and I don't know whether it's the monitor which is making me feel a little bit ill. It sort of coincided with when I had an earache and a kind of a numb feeling around my left ear. And ever since, it's all kind of combined. And every now and then, I'm looking at the screen, I'm scrolling, and it's just like, ooh, it just makes me feel bilious. So that bilious means sick to those of you who are not educated.
Chunky Weenie ear.
Yeah, I might have Chunky Weenie ear. I tried, by the power of Q-Link, I actually tried to kind of wear it like that when I went to sleep. It didn't help. I just woke up with a line around my face, which took ages to go because I'm getting old and I don't have lots of collagen left in the old face. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, hopefully it's just some sort of infection thing and it'll pass. Like vertigo, people suffer from that every now and then, and it's just like, it's really weird. It's just, yeah, every now and then I just feel really spaced out and I'm fine. Hopefully it's not the old ticker packing up or something. That would suck, but we'll find out. Oh dear, ClickTech Kev has given me a flashback from last week's Discord after the show party. Yes, not good. Hello Kev. Kev also has a YouTube channel which you should check out. His is not really useful for insomnia. Not as much as obviously James's. Sorry, James. Aleta's with us as well. Aleta of the water cooling variety. Ugly Bob says, rub your Q-links for tonight's stream, guys. Yeah, that would be absolutely brilliant. Right, let's fast forward. Hopefully I won't miss out too much of your questions. Ugly Bob, you forgot to put a question mark at the end of your question. You've put Sky is awesome. You didn't put a question mark on the end to signify whether that was a question. If it's a statement, then an exclamation mark at the end would be appropriate. Just saying. The Giant Killer says, congrats on 50k. It's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? How does the channel grow from being ridiculously nothing to being still relatively nothing, but with 50k subs? It's pretty insane. it still doesn't seem quite real. I said to someone the other day, it's really scary when you get to a sizable number. 50k in terms YouTube-wise isn't a great deal, but for a kind of a tech channel struggling to make it against hundreds, if not thousands of other tech channels out there, and to actually be clawing back some ground on some of them is really, really weird. And I do genuinely kind of wake up in the morning sometimes and kind of reconcile it with my own brain, and it's like, this is real. This is actually happening, and it's really, really hard to get your head around. God only knows what it's like when someone wins the lottery. That must be like mind blown. It's not surprising they go off the rails, but yeah, just to wake up in the morning and think I've got 50k subscribers. Me and Kath are kind of doing this thing, and it's gaining momentum, and it's mega humbling. It really is. It makes you kind of appreciate things so much more, and it gives you a totally different perspective on basically life in general. It's kind of a different rat race altogether, minus the race and most of the rats, to be fair.
Say the story about Cash.
Say the story. Oh yeah, yeah. We worked with a guy 5 years ago, I suppose it'd be now. 4 or 5 years? No, 3 years. Is it 3 years?
Could be 3.
3 years. Yeah, roughly about 3 years ago. There's a guy we worked with. Hopefully he won't mind me mentioning his name. His name was Cash. And when we were talking about setting up the channel, I knew nothing about YouTube, literally nothing, apart from watching videos like everyone. And I said, like, what do you think? Well, do you reckon I'll get like 100 subs or something like that? Maybe 1,000? And he's like, well, you might get 100, who knows? And it was, what was it? Something like, oh yeah, you might get like 1,000 views or something. Maybe 100 subs, that kind of thing. He wasn't being horrible, he was just being genuine. Like, it's a really, really tough game. And I frequently kind of reminisce of that, and that whole kind of situation replays in my head. And I think that's part of the motivation, that no matter what people say to you, whether it's good-natured or whether it's a reality check or whatever it is, if you believe in yourself and you put in the hard work and effort, potentially you can do anything. And hopefully this channel is proof of that. Well, I'm an idiot, I know that, but I'm a relatively honest idiot, and I think that resonates with a lot of people. So yeah, it's very humbling, and
We do really appreciate it.
we do appreciate every single subscriber, every single comment. Still, even now, like 4 years in, this is our 4th year of YouTube. Even to this day, even when I've been sick as a dog, in bed with human malware, allegedly, or whatever, just not feeling very well at all, the first thing I do every day is I pick up my phone, go to the YouTube comment section, and I try and answer as many questions as I possibly can. I then get up, have a shower and all that kind of usual stuff, you know, shower, shave. Well, shave probably not so much, but definitely take a dump. Come downstairs, have a drink of tea, water, take my vitamins, minerals. Then the next thing is like, boom, straight sat down, answering questions again and making sure that everyone is acknowledged. If you send a comment on a video, you'll get an answer. It may not be straight away, and if it's one that's like a continuation, sometimes those get lost. It's easy to do, but if you've asked a question, you'll get an answer.
If you get an answer on a comment, we comment
we do. That is one thing that I do try and make sure I do. Thanks for the super chats. I've missed 2 super chats there that I didn't acknowledge. David Aitken, £2.50, says happy 50k subs, Mike and Kath. Congratulations, David. It's thanks to guys like you, girls like, not you, but yeah, like Erin. That's a good example. There's people like you that keep this channel going, and with your kindness and your community spirit and all that kind of good stuff. It's what it's all about. It's actually a load of fun. It's incredibly stressful. It's incredibly rewarding, and it's also incredibly fun at times as well. It's like extremes of everything all the time. The emotional roller coaster of YouTube is absolutely insane. How people like Linus or Louis all those kinds of big players, how they have not gone clinically insane, I do not know.
Mike's already done a Britney Spears.
Yeah, I've already Britneyed myself. There's just it's crazy stuff.
And it's not easy.
It isn't easy. Kieran Atkinson says, the white fans on the rad behind you look weird. Shame Arctic only sent you one of their special ones. Haha. Yeah, we need to speak to Arctic about that, definitely. We do, definitely. O'Reilly also is £5, your 50k reward. Bless you, bless you. And actually, some of the questions we need to think about with this is why? Well, not why. What do you want to see going forward? What is, like, I know my roadmap. I've felt kind of recently I've meandered and gone down the road. I want to start getting back to what I really love doing, and that is fixing problems. But I don't know, because I also like displaying products, but we'll see. Patrick LaBelle's $5 Canadian and says, congrats for 50k. Started lurking when it was on about 29k. Wow. So 29k, that would have been, what, beginning of last year? 30k?
Yeah,
No.
probably was, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, that's probably about a year ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. MMB Tech TV says, good evening, Mike and Kath. Hope you're all well. Not doing bad, my friend. Not doing bad at all. MMB Tech TV, also another fellow YouTuber. So please go and check out his channel at some point or other. Watch some content, stick a like on it. Help the algorithm to nourish the channels, etc. Mike says, what is the expensive GPU? Where? I don't see no expensive GPUs in there. ELS. I will, my 2060 is on PBO and the voltage is crazy. How can I limit the voltage? I don't want to degrade my chip. We are going to do a undervolting guide next week. And we're going to be doing that live. So maybe stick around and we'll go into that. Ugly Bob's given us a 420 and says, check out the Shop Smart channel. It's awesome. I can't believe I haven't said that myself.
You never published.
I never do, actually. For those of you who don't know what Shop Smart is our kind of alter ego. So as far as tech goes, all the bargains and stuff we tend to talk about here, but Shop Smart is a more widespread thing. So it's basically anything. It could be a bargain mouse, it could be a projector, it could be a basket. It's on Facebook, so you can follow it there, or you can watch the videos on YouTube, which are just for UK stuff. So please check out Shop Smart. That's what Kath does mostly. She puts all that together, so well done, Kath. She works hard. Outlaw Fets give us another 79p. God bless you. Aletta says, Mike and Kath let me in, so that proves they're not picky. No, we don't ban or kick many people, to be fair. There's not many. We've got a pretty decent community where majority, I would say the large, like 99.95% are not dicks, which is awesome. And for a tech channel, that's impressive, because tech channels do tend to bring out the worst in people for some reason. I don't know why. Cosmic Space Muffin says, oops, wrong account. Now Norwegian idiot entered the chat. Good evening to you, Cosmic.
Ask him how his head is.
How's your hair?
How's your stalk?
That was fun. Ricardo has sent us 100 million thousand trillion things of. I always forget CAP. What's CAP stand for? Copenhagen rubles? No, I don't know. I forget. Thank you very much, Ricardo.
Yeah,
congrats, Mike. Just came for an opinion on the Gamax 400 and liked your work. Cheers. Do you know what, actually? The Gamax versus the Evo 212 was probably one of the pieces of work in the early days which I was really proud of. And the fact that it kind of seemed to resonate with a lot of people and got some traction was like, ooh, this is pretty good. I like that. We'll do more of that. it was all good. Ugly Bob says, we have a very tolerant community. However, Aletta says, I'm not a dick, I don't even have one. I'm sure with America going the way it's going, that'll soon be an option. Slightly political, to apologise. The versus Gemink? Is that Gemink? Hi from Indonesian.
You did get a question just now saying,
Greetings.
how did you react back when you got your first million view video?
How did I react when we first got our 1 million views on a video? I don't think, because it was quite a slow burner, I don't think we didn't really react to it, did we? It was like, oh, come on, when's that video going to hit 1 million? Because it was like, it was just dragging on. Yeah, I think it's the only one. I think the other one is probably about maybe 500,000 or something, the next nearest one. So it's hard
to keep an eye on that.
You can't really tell on YouTube when you're hitting a certain milestone. It happens and you're like, oh, okay, that happened. Cool. It was impressive. I did like it. Trev Good says, hey Mike, what do you prefer, Radeon or Nvidia? That's a difficult one. That is a difficult one. I've got to be honest with you, I would love to say I prefer Radeon, but I'd be lying. I don't like Nvidia. I don't want to like Nvidia. I don't want to use Nvidia necessarily because I think some of their stuff they do is pretty dodgy tactics, to be completely honest with you. But for streaming, they're really good.
Excuse me.
For video editing, really good, down to their kind of collaboration with Adobe Premiere and that kind of lock-in deal. That is, yeah. And video cards, if you're into doing multiple things and you're in productivity work and you don't want to suffer some weird crashes, NVIDIA cards do seem to be better. And they offer more features as well, which is really, really sad. Obviously, RTX, DLSS, all those kinds of things are a pretty big deal to a lot of people. So, yeah. Personally, I would prefer to have an all AMD system, AMD processor, AMD motherboard, AMD graphics card. Nothing would make me happier, and often that is the case. I do that. But with availability as it is at the moment and all that kind of stuff, it's really difficult to do. So, yeah. Preference-wise, preference would always be Radeon. I've always had a soft spot for ATI and the whole Radeon brand, but it's not always possible, unfortunately. Mark Proctor says, since installing, actually I should put on that camera, shouldn't I? Since installing my new 3070, my PC randomly freezes up, then goes to no signal input. Display goes black, then the picture comes back, and the PC works normally. Seems to do it when using Chrome. Any ideas? Yeah, that is quite common. That is when the basically the display driver just stops working in Windows and it recovers itself. It is quite a common thing. Sometimes it can be down to if you've had a previous graphics card in there, chances are if you go into Windows Update and click on Find More Updates, there's a really, really strong chance that it'll come up saying AMD display driver. Even though you've got an NVIDIA card in there, the system still thinks for some reason that it needs to do a Windows Update on an AMD driver. So sometimes what it'll do, while it's doing kind of background processing or rendering, like rendering within the browser, it will look and go, oh, hang on, I'm using NVIDIA, but I'm sure I needed an AMD driver update. And it kind of pauses the system for a second, and then it tries to initialize another driver, and it can't because the graphics card isn't there. So then it has to fall back onto the previous driver. It's a really long-winded process, but it does it kind of like that. It's like a nanosecond thing, but when it does it, it kind of catches itself out, and it's like, oh, hang on, better recover that, and then it tries to reload the driver. So you'll probably find it, when the screen goes black, depending on your setup, do you find that you hear the Windows kind of, the ding, like you've plugged in a new device or removed a device? If you're getting that noise as well, then that's definitely what's happening. You can use DDU, clean the system out, and then let Windows reinstall the driver itself for NVIDIA card. Then once it's done that, reboot the system, and then go and download the NVIDIA driver and install the latest version, and you should find it absolutely fine. But make sure you run DDU in safe mode, otherwise it will not go well. Is that better? Yeah. What do you reckon of the glasses? I can actually see, oh, HD, 720p, 1080, 720, 1080, 720. No, the other way around. Outlaw Vet says, you may not like me, but I enjoy the content. $1.99. You spend the money, we like you. We're easily bought. We genuinely are. Isn't that right, Kath?
No.
That webcam. I'm looking at the screen over there. That webcam is absolutely awful, isn't it? I do apologise. I should have put that camera there and that camera there. That'd be much better. Captain Meets Adventures, don't mention America, or a space laser will shoot and burn Bristol. Well, I'll try and do that on, well, later in the week, because we're supposed to be getting a ton of snow. So the laser will burn the snow, which will be awesome. Renew Review says, can you tell me what a GSA is for AMD if I already have a BIOS from MSI? I'm not too sure what you mean there. Difficult to answer. Probably best bet, stuff like that. If it's really, really technical, go over to our Discord chat and sign up, and then we can go through it and ask questions and have a proper conflab and sort those kind of things out. Stuart Cleary, lovely, lovely man, has sent us 10 European rubles and says, congrats on the 50k subs. Is the iQ465X PC gone? Seriously, like today, I've had up to there, like it's a 9+. That PC, I'm kind of at the point now where I'm basically giving it away for how much I'm letting some local Bristol lad have it for, because he wants to get into gaming and streaming. So I figured I'll take a little bit of a hit on it and try and do someone a good turn. And it's turning out to be an absolute nightmare, because every kind of inch that I'm giving, they're wanting another couple of more inches. So it's got to the point where I even turned around and said, look, if it's not going to do what you want it to do, I'll sell you the thing behind me. I'll sell that. You can have my techware, my pride and joy. I'll sell you it. Just kind of, I can't cope. I need help psychologically, mentally, and physically. And we went around the house for hours. Like the PC was supposed to go at like 2 o'clock today, if not before. And it's rolled on another day. So I basically wasted a day messing around. I even put the PC back up for sale on Facebook. I was like, right, I've had an absolute tits full of this. I've had enough. There's only so much my patience to do. I'm doing someone a favor. Like, give me a break. I can't keep answering questions and telling you stuff which I don't know the answers to. Relax. So, thank you, Stuart. Appreciate that. I appreciate you bringing it up. Cortana Gaming says, can you sing? Hell no. Okay. Angry Doe says, you look like a doctor. Well, you don't want me taking your COVID test. That's for damn sure. Hello? Kev. Oh, Kev.
When it goes dark, babe.
When it goes dark. When it goes dark. Oh yeah. When it goes dark, that means it's a super chat. Brilliant. Claytech Kev's put £2 in the kitty and says that is 0.004 pence per subscriber. Congrats. Thank you very much. Paul Lamont says, good evening.
Can you do Cortana? He wants you to sing.
Cortana, hi, I'm not spamming though.
No, it wasn't him. Apologise.
Oh, right.
You got told for spamming, but it wasn't him, it was someone else.
All right, Byron.
Yeah.
Byron, don't spam. It's not politically correct.
But can you sing?
No, I can't sing.
Just try.
I'm not even going to try. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen, sorry. Singing is not my, actually tech stuff ain't my forte either, but I have a stab at it. But as far as singing goes, no, not going to happen. I don't think I've actually ever been drunk enough to start singing in public. Not like as if I'm trying to sing. I've done the all that stuff, shouting at the top of my lungs for no apparent reason, but actually singing for entertainment purposes, definitely not.
You did sing the Pounds at Christmas.
Yeah, that's true. I did. Ricardo says, Mike, do you think the 12 gig 3060 will eat literally the rest of the 3000 series cards except the 3090? Graphics cards is weird at the moment. It really, really is. The last couple of days, I've been lucky enough to I've done the review for the Zotac card, the RTX 3070 AMP Holo. That is a beautiful card. It's almost perfect. It is almost perfect. There's, yeah, apart from it not being mine and I've got to send it back. Other than that, it's virtually perfect. I know when I said I want to got it out originally, I was thinking like the whole kind of the aqua colors and the whole hollow scheme was a bit kind of a bit naff. But once you actually get it in your machine and fire it up, and it's like, oh, okay, this is different. And then you play games on it, and it's like, ooh, that's bloody good. That's.
You missed the super chat again.
I missed another super chat. I did. Did I?
You did.
I did Kev's one. It's not showing up on my screen.
Is it not, Daniel?
Oh, there it is. Jesus Christ!
Dark.
Sorry, Daniel Lopez.
Disco light went
It just creeped up on me and just appeared on my screen like some kind of crazy thing. Daniel says, can you do a review on Arctic Infinity series fans? I think, did you send me an email about that, Daniel, as well? Someone actually sent, it might have been yourself. Actually, I think it was. Sounds familiar. Yes. Yes, I probably will at some point if I can get hold of them. Like everything at the moment, it's just actually trying to get hold of stuff. I've actually reached out to Antec 5 times at least on various Facebook things, social media, and it's like, hello, McFly, is anybody there? They just don't seem to want to speak to us. Whether we're getting stuck in a spam bucket somewhere, don't know. It's difficult to tell. Obviously, COVID, etc. Blah 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 blah. Makes things a little bit difficult, but yeah, I would love to work with Antec. I used to love their 900 series cases. Before that, the performance series, like the P series. I had the P180, I think the P190, I think there was as well. I've had a couple of different ones. The 900 series, I've had all of them, from the first one, the 900, the 901, the 902, the 902 revamp. Basically, yeah, I've been through a lot of their stuff, really have. The P160 was amazing when it first came out. Love that case. So I would love to see some more stuff from Antec. I really genuinely would. So yeah,
some good news for you.
We have. Actually, I will acknowledge Sky Stalker's one because that's come up already, and I can actually see that, and the light went off whilst I'm looking at the camera. I don't want to get told off by Kath over there because she hurts me. Sky Stalker is giving us 25 Canadian rubles and says $5 a year ain't much for the great entertainment and tech content. Sorry, it's Canadian funds, but money is money is money. It certainly is, and hopefully it all goes towards us getting more stuff to review, which is something which is becoming more and more difficult. Although, having said that, we've been really, really lucky. Not lucky, but kind of the hard work possibly has paid off. For those of you that watched the Ions videos, we did the Ions KZ08 and the KZ10, I think it was. Yeah. Both of which, budget cases, really, really good. Enjoyed building with cheap, cheerful, just gets the job done. And they actually look really nice. Did a couple of build videos, I'm sure we did. Good game. We did a lot of videos and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I haven't got the chin for that. I have actually smoked myself retarded. We did a load of Ion stuff, and they actually emailed us and said, we noticed you've done some stuff on YouTube. Would you like... Well, actually, first of all, they said, can we use some of your videos on our new website that we're launching? It's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, knock yourselves out. Happy days. And they said, if there's anything you want to review of our stuff coming up, let us know. And yeah, we'll start sending you stuff. So awesome stuff. We will be seeing more stuff from Ions very soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed, they don't do what everyone else seems to be doing at the moment, and that is getting a product that then becomes moderately popular and then just jacking the price up. Because that is seeming to happen on a lot of things at the moment. Trying to think, what was the one we did the other day? Cougar. The Cougar case. The MG120G, I think it was. I got it for like 30 quid. It went up within like 3 or 4 hours of the video being released last Sunday, I think it was. Was it Sunday? No, Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Released the video on Tuesday at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And by kind of midday, 2 o'clock sort of time, it was kind of either sold out or selling for like 46 quid. Which is a pretty big increase in price, let's be fair. That's like an added extra 50% on the price. Although, depending on how you do your maths, may be different from me. I do maths differently. You may notice this in the reviews. Anyway, so Ions, hopefully, they'll remain true to their initial kind of outlay, or whatever you call it, the stall that they set for us all. Good stuff at reasonable prices, albeit actually probably quite cheap prices. So it'd be nice to see if they can get some new cases, maybe a bit more mesh, a bit more KZ18. Who said that? Outlaw. Yeah. Outlaw, if you want to see the KZ18, seriously, send an email to Ions, either on their eBay or their website or whatever, and just say, I watched Mike's unboxing. He said that you're going to be doing case reviews and stuff and working with him. Can you please send him a KZ18? And if you forget, then give me a nudge and I'll try and I'll mention it next time I speak to him. Because that's what it's about. If somebody asks for something, I'll try and do it. I'm not going to say I'm going to go and spend a ton of money and do it, but I certainly will try. Ray D says, looking sexy, Mike, with those glasses. Are your eyebrows false? No, it's just a monobrow. It's a monobrow. There they are, look. They didn't rub off.
I wrote that. So it's obvious we've spoken about that now.
Oh dear. Bless you. Bless you all. Cortana says, can you do reviews on the Metallic Gear series? To be honest with you, I've not seen those over here. They don't seem to be... There's not something that's been promoted very heavily on Amazon or any of the other sort of UK sites. Yeah, Metallic Gear is basically Fantech's kind of budget range, isn't it? From what I recall. Although Fantechs are starting to do their own budget stuff anyway, so maybe that's why Metallic Gear is kind of fading away. As that leads them nicely to Daniel. So sadly, Antec has kind of faded away from the forefront of PC builders' minds. They moved quite a lot into the fan business too. Frankly, I think they made some splendid stuff. Yeah, totally agree. The Antec 900, when it first came out, for probably 5 years, it was the best case on the market, hands down. They must have sold hundreds of thousands of them, literally, if not millions. Kali, what? Oh Christ, Kali Wamayain. No. KM. KMW. No, KWM. I'm going to say for now. KWM. That works. Kali, that's going to help. Kali, should the RAM speed cap 2666 on mid-to-low i5 10400F motherboards put me off buying the CPU? No. Mike is losing it. Yeah, I am. It's taking you this long, John, to realise that I'm losing it. Yeah, Ugly Bob says, yeah, Ugly Bob's exactly right. That ship did sell a long time ago. Yeah, actually the RAM speed thing, I've done a couple of videos on the B460 motherboard paired with the 10100, and I honestly don't see any issues with the RAM speed. It doesn't appear to be making, well, you can't really test it, but because obviously you can't unlock the speeds, but it doesn't seem to be hampering it as much as you'd expect it to. I'm not using the onboard graphics, which is going to be, if you're using onboard graphics as well, that would be different, but you've said you're mentioning, or you're using an F chip, so you're going to be using a separate GPU, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. bless me. Outlaw said, can you do blah blah blah? Yeah, I've read that. Captain Meets Adventure says, ooh, what a popular cougar. Yeah, cougars do get popular. A question for anybody. What was the budget for your first ever PC? Kath, can you remember the budget for our first ever PC, which was our wedding present to ourselves?
I think it's about 400, wasn't it?
Keep going.
5?
I think it was about 700, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. No, it couldn't have been, could it? I'd love to find the receipt for that. At the time I was working for a builder's merchant called Wicks here in the UK, and I was driving forklifts. Kath was at the bank, about to be pregnant-ish.
Might have been in your head.
Yeah, I was working on it. The PC thing had just come out, and Windows 95 had just come out. And one of the guys that we worked with, who actually designed conservatories for Wix, actually had a sideline of flogging PCs to people. He had a company called Little Monkey Computers, and him and his mate Dave, it was Simon, is it Simon Bates? No, Gary Bates. Gary Bates and Dave Dibben. I can't believe it. That's like from 19, that's like last century. Yeah, we did, yeah. Scary stuff. So anyway, these two guys sold conservatories and all that kind of stuff that you get in Wix. You know, when you go into one of those like indoor conservatories and you go in and there's a salesman in a suit going, hey, how can I help you? How can I relieve your wallet of money today? Basically, they had a sideline of making computers. So they had a little contact over in Wales, a little industrial unit where they had all this PC stuff being shipped in. In '95, PC stuff wasn't mainstream. You couldn't go to like your PC Worlds or shops like that. You just couldn't go anywhere like that. So you'd have to buy stuff from kind of little industrial estates where they had like a trade counter and stuff. Literally, there was one in Chippenham that we went to, and it was, I'm not sure what it was, but it was kind of a multi-function thing, a huge building, and a couple of little units were for PC parts. And you'd literally walk in on these polished concrete floors, and there was kind of like straw and stuff on the floors where there was kind of like animals and stuff in other parts of the warehouse. So the PC industry was a very, very different thing. It wasn't as glamorous at all, but it was becoming glamorous and people were getting into it. So Gary brought his PC in and plugged his modem into the works telephone line to show us what the internet was, because most of us had never seen the internet in '95, which seems like a weird thing, but no one had. So he plugged it in, fired up his, I think it was like FreeServe or AOL account. And
that was a
I think it was. Well, it must have been something like that. But anyway, so he dialed in on his modem, the order beep, 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 downloading stuff, and we were all gathered round in absolute awe of this JPEG image kind of loading step by step by step by step. It was like, wow, this is the future. And then he played a game, I think it was Descent. I think it was Descent, possibly. It's a little bit hazy what game it was, but basically he ran a game on it, and I was like, that was it. I need one. Before that, I'd had what did I have? I had a Sega Mega Drive, a Genesis, a Mega CD, all that kind of stuff, and I wasn't really into games at the point. It was kind of like one of those times in between. So it was like, yes, this is the future. I want one of those machines.
So you bought me made the speakers type.
Yeah. So basically, Kath and I had got married quite recently, and we had some money that were given to us for obviously wedding present, what have you. So we thought, well, we'll buy ourselves a computer as a wedding present to ourselves. And we went out, spec'd out his PC, and it was like I'm pretty sure it was a 386. I don't even think it was a 486. So we had this 386 PC, which was dog slow, but did the job. And it's like a big beige box, a printer that actually had a ribbon, 3-color ribbon, so you could, basically there was hammers in the printer, little miniature hammers that would go on this colored ribbon to make a color image. It took forever to print anything. It was horrendous. We had an old, I think it was a 13 or 14-inch monitor, but because it was a second-hand one, it didn't have a stand, so it was literally just flat on a shelf. There were so many corners cut back then. The motherboard was a VESA motherboard, didn't even have PCI Express. Oh, sorry, didn't even have PCI slots because that was the next technology as Pentium 4 was coming out. Oh, no, sorry, the original Pentium. So yeah, this was a really, really old PC. VESA local bus expansion slots and ISA slots. The PC had a turbo button, which back in the days, everyone was like, wow, turbo button, hello. And you press the turbo button and either nothing happened or it got slower. And the whole reason of the turbo button was to slow the PC down. So for older stuff, older software, which is written on older hardware, newer hardware made the software run too fast, so you couldn't play it. So you press the turbo button and it would make the PC slower. But a lot of people did it the other way around and rewired it so it actually did it the opposite way around. Confusing times, but fun times, and we were hooked. We got our Windows 95 and within probably 2 days I broke it. And I reached out to Gary and Dave, I think, at the time. So I've killed the computer. They're like, oh, you'll have to reinstall Windows. Like,
no, I think they charged you to do it.
Yeah, they said, well, we'll do it for you. So I'm like, okay, and charged me for it. And that was the turning point then. It was like, okay, I can't afford to do this anymore. I need to learn how to do this. So I bought myself Windows 95 on floppy disks, which I believe there was about 31, maybe 32 disks that were loaded.
The wrong camera.
I am looking on the wrong camera. Shit the bed for ages. So I bought these. I bought all these discs, about 30 odd discs, 1¼ inch floppy disks, which held 1.44 megabytes of data. So you get an idea of how slow this thing was. You put a disc in, it'd read it, then it'll ask for the next disc about 2-3 minutes later, maybe a bit longer. The installation process was an absolute nightmare, and it got to the point where you'd install the bare minimum because you knew if you installed the extra bits, you'd need to put in extra discs. So you eventually got to the point after you've done it 10, 20 times, right, you don't need networking, so you don't need to install networking. You don't necessarily want solitaire in the game, so leave those out. What was it? There was something else. There was a few things. Network support was an option. I think password stuff was an option as well. But basically there was a couple of options, so you could just basically deselect everything and just run a vanilla installation of Windows 95. And it was so bad back then that hard drives were tiny comparatively. So we would have to install, you'd install your operating system on the hard drive, which would probably be maybe 640 megabytes, like tiny. Windows would probably be about, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 megabytes, something ridiculous. It was, yeah, bizarre. So then what you do is you compress the rest of the disk which was left, so you'd have more space. But because it was compressed, it took longer to put files on there and take files off. So you had the advantage of more space, but the disadvantage of it taking longer. I'm so glad that we're out of those days. I loved it because it was a massive, for me at the time, it was a really steep learning curve. I knew absolutely nothing about DOS commands, Windows, married life, all those kinds of things I just didn't know anything about. So it was a really, really awesome learning curve, and I cherish those days, I really do. And playing some of those games, installing my first CD drive after just using floppy drives all the time. Because like at the start, you didn't have a CD drive. It wasn't a thing. Everything come on discs anyway, so there was no point. Then multimedia come in. Yeah.
Was it Theme Park World? Because we had it on the Mega Drive.
There was something came out that we could only put on CD, and prior to that, you didn't need it. And I'm trying to think what it was. There would have been a game which was the turning point. I can't think what it was. Mental times. Anyway, so that was the starting point really, and from then I've been kind of hooked by it. There's been a few times where I've kind of gone off it a little bit, but always the PC has been somewhere in the background. And now it's impossible to not have a PC around you. I don't think I know of a house, well, possibly one or two households that don't have a computer, like a desktop computer. But I think pretty much every household in the country has at least got either a computer or a tablet or a mobile phone, which is effectively a very, very small computer. So we've gone from like back in 1995, where computers were like for geeks and nerds, to whereas now kind of, no, everyone's got one. Computer's gone off, it's dead. That's an hour. Anyway, so that's enough about me jibber jabber crazy fool.
Ask me any question about myself.
Ask me any question. Let me talk about myself. Have I turned into Kerry Holzman? God damn it.
You've turned into an autobiography. They always talk about themselves.
James Mussolini says iOmega zip drives, 100 meg and 250 megabyte flavors. Now zip drives, that was one thing I never owned. I always wanted a zip drive. I was more interested when because the original zip drives were on parallel port. So you could plug them into your printer port on your PC, and then your printer would plug into the zip drive. So it would daisy chain through. Then USB was a thing. So then you could have a zip drive on a USB port, and it's like, wow, this is the future. And I'll never forget getting our first USB scanner and having to scan my NADs.
And then we took it back.
And then took it back. give the tray a little blow. It's fine. Put it back in the box. That was. I'd love to know what there was a load of them at the time. All of them like generic USB 600 DPI scanners. Was it Plus Tech or Q Tech or something? But there's tons of them on the market. They were all exactly the same, just a different badge on the front, and they all were like 600 DPI, which most PCs then would struggle to even open a 600 DPI image.
Well, I didn't even have to persuade you. You just willingly did it.
That was fun. Twain drivers. God, yeah, Twain drivers. For those of you that are not old enough to...
Can you do a dance?
No, I don't do dance. No. For those of you not old enough to remember, Twain drivers were what scanners used to communicate with Windows. Oh, wow. That was...
Does that come to me?
Mike, according to Wikipedia, he famously introduced Keith and Lorraine, who later became famous for creating oven, egg, bacon style savoury flan. No way. Brilliant. Oh dear.
We do ask Google.
Right, let's answer some of your questions now. Emily?
Pile all the questions in for you.
Pile the questions in, let's have a look. Darren says it's amazing how tech is advanced. It really is. Like technology now is... Oh, I was watching TechMoan. If you haven't checked out TechMoan's channel, it is a great channel. It's some really nerdy, geeky stuff. It releases a video, I think it's every Saturday morning. Today was Panasonic's first ever talking alarm clock, basically, radio alarm clock. This was from 1971. So that gives you an idea of where technology has gone. And back then, to get the actual recorded voice out of the speaker and the device, basically someone had to sit there and record all of those voices onto what is essentially a miniature record. And there was like a little tape head which would go across the magnet and actually read it out. So the first half would be hours and the second half would be minutes. So it'd be like the time is, like pre-recorded bit, then an hour, then date. Absolutely mental. If you think that's 1971, and now everyone's got that on their wrist that you can tell you the time. I think Mickey Mouse definitely does. But that's how far we've come. Now voice control is pretty much a thing and almost a given. You expect devices to have it. If you get into a car that doesn't have Apple Play or the Google stuff on there or Alexa, it's like, okay, need an upgrade.
We haven't got that.
Technology has come so far in a relatively small space of time. It probably will start condensing now and slowing down because we've had a big boom, so things probably will slow down. John Sullivan says, TechMoan, yes, good stuff. ClickTech says, Twain, tool without an interesting name. Yeah, I think that's actually what it meant. Joe Whitley says, 16K RAM pack broke. Anyone know who can fix? Kev. Kev would fix that. EWXN says, I have a massive question. Well, I really need to know. GTP 1994 says, should I use a 3070 for Cyberpunk? Yeah, why not? If you can get one, and it's not going to cost you a kidney or some kind of sexual favour, then definitely go for it. You don't necessarily need it. Cyberpunk actually scales really well. But actually, tell a lie, it doesn't scale very well at all. It basically runs at the same frame rate on every system. It's just the difference of the settings. So
Is it because that wang you changed it?
It is. RX 570, I showed works around about sort of 40 to 60 frames per second on low settings. And as you go up through, everything stays the same. The higher the settings go, the better the card. It will basically still stay around those kind of settings. You might be lucky and get maybe 75 to 100 frames per second top end with lower settings. But yeah, Cyberpunk is one of those games which has not been particularly well done.
Gaming's going to it dance, we'll see.
By Cortana Gaming, I'm not your performing monkey. Go and find another channel. God bless you.
Aww.
What do you mean, aw?
Could have at least done a little sing dance. Monument's been waiting for ages.
Monument. Hi Mike, I saw your video about the Fantex P400A and you didn't like it. What would you recommend over it? The P400A, I don't dislike it. I just think there's other alternatives out there. In hindsight, I was possibly a little bit harsh. In hindsight. It's still a nice case, and there's a few things they could have done to it to make it a little bit more flexible. The radiator mounting on the top isn't ideal. The fan mountings on the front is kind of arguably good or bad. It looks really nice, and I'm still to building it, which was something I meant to do this week, but with one thing or another, it hasn't happened. I still intend on doing it. I may have to rip out the guts of this system behind me in order to do it, but if there's enough of you that want to see me building a P400A, then I will definitely try and get that done in a live stream, if people are interested. As regard to alternatives, I suppose, well, if you think about the price point, what was it, 65, 70 pounds? So for a little bit more, you could get that, the TechWare VXR, which is kind of slightly insane. I do love the look of that PC. There's something about that that just ticks a lot of boxes. Actually, if I put it around on the other angle, you can see the actual glass on the front as well, hopefully. So yeah, it does. I do like the look of that case. I really do. It is a showpiece. It's not overly cool. I don't think the radiator is a good idea on the side there, but it does look nice. I want to do some water cooling. That's something that I'm definitely going to try and do as we go forward into the next kind of set of figures, I guess. I want to do some custom water cooling. I've been looking, and I don't want to spend an absolute crap ton of money, because I think as soon as you start doing that, it becomes then an art form rather than a hobby or an interest. So I want to start off dabbling my toes in it as inexpensively as possible. I've looked at a few kits on AliExpress, and funny enough, actually I think it was Kev on our Discord sent me a link this afternoon for one at AliExpress, which was about £100 for a 360mm rad with a pump, reservoir, a GPU and a CPU block and a bit of RGB bling in it. They want about 35 quid postage, which is actually, that is something we do need to consider as well now with us in the UK. Because of the EU thing, the withdrawal and postage prices and container prices, shipping containers now coming across from, well, basically anywhere. If you're buying a shipping container to send stuff from one place to another, it costs roughly 80% more now than what it did last year. So clearly, manufacturers are not going to swallow those costs, because most manufacturers are down to kind of like single figure digit profits. So they haven't got a lot of room to squeeze. They really haven't. So the only thing they can do is pass the price on to the customer. That's you and me. So we're basically screwed. There's no stock, it's going to cost more, and it's going to take longer to ship. Oh, and it's going to cost more to ship. I went from 4 to 5 then. Finger didn't work.
You go like a kid. How many fingers?
How many fingers have I got? Count the fingers.
Right, questions.
Sorry.
Go back
Yeah.
to quite up a bit.
So I am definitely going to try that. I want to do some custom water cooling. I don't want to kill my system. Having said that, I'm actually not bad at plumbing. Kath said nothing there.
Yeah, you're not too bad.
I'm actually alright. Plumbing, I'm good at. I'm alright. I can do plumbing. I know the deal.
Don't touch any plumbing stuff. You're fine.
As long as I don't touch anything with water, brass, copper, or fittings,
No, you're not.
I'm shit hot. I understand the physics, which is important, and I understand how most fittings work and compression fittings and all that kind of stuff. So I get how it works. I've got a reasonable PC background, so between plumbing and PC background, I think I should be okay.
We did do our house.
Yeah, we did. With some help, I fitted pretty much all the radiators and stuff in the house. Didn't do the combi boiler because that's a little bit specialist, but radiators, yeah, all that stuff we did. I drilled holes in places I shouldn't have done. You know what it's like. Yeah. So yes, definitely gonna do some custom water cooling, which I think is gonna be fun. And if it can be done on a budget, I think it's actually worth doing. If you're spending tons of money, realistically, you're better off just buying a decent air cooler or a cheap AIO. But if you can get a cheap-ish custom kit, and it actually does what it's meant to do, I think it's actually worth looking into. Kath's got her hand up. Ricardo, thank you for dropping in. See you later, buddy. Oh, bless. We do love Ricardo. It does worry me at the moment. I'll keep this between me and you because obviously don't want this getting out everywhere. But sometimes when you have regular viewers to the channel and they disappear for a while, with the human malware going around at the moment, it does make you wonder. It really, really does. There's been a few that Kath and I have noticed of like, not seen them around for a while. And it's like, oh, I hope they're okay. It's quite worrying. Maybe they just got pissed off for seeing some fatty, boldy Bristol bloke. I just heard Angel laugh in the background there. Oh dear.
Next week we'll have no teenagers left in this house.
GTP 1994 says, I have a question. I had Ultra DLSS and I boost 50 FPS. Should I use it or crank the settings down and put ray tracing on Cyberpunk? I don't know.
Well, Angel's here. Wish her happy birthday, everyone.
Yeah, everybody, it's Angel's birthday in a couple of days' time, so wish her well.
Yeah, I know.
It's on the 10th, I know that.
When's that? How many days?
Wednesday?
Yeah.
It's only because I know that Vincent's leaving Zotac on the 8th. I am such a bastard. Ugly Bob says happy birthday. GTP 1994 says happy birthday. See, Angel, you are beloved.
Do you know what we've only got 4.
Anyway, moving on. To the DLS thing. DLSS, I would make use of it. All those kind of things, if NVIDIA's got it in their toolbox, you'd be a fool not to. It doesn't really make any difference visually, although saying that, I am of the visually impaired, so for all I know, DLS could be on or off. It doesn't make any difference. It's still blurry as shit. Oh dear. Hopefully that is... Blue Collar Texas, hey Mike, you're going to start sipping on a can of Coke in every video/stream? Potentially. Actually, I haven't had any ass tonight.
Would you like me to get you an ass?
Cav, can I please have some cold ass from the fridge, please? She says, I thought you'd never ask. Oh dear. Cosmic Space Muffin says, I don't want to tear my one kidney GPU and put a 35 quid water block on it, just saying. Yeah, I totally understand that.
That's your options.
Glenn, let's go with the grey one. because that matches my hair when I have some. Actually, no, let's go with the blue one.
I'll do the line.
Thank you. That is from Glenn, says, congrats on 50k, and here's money for Angel's cake. Oh, bless you, Glenn.
Oh,
That is very kind. She's making a ring. I'll pocket that. What Google don't take, I'll take the rest. I haven't got any nails to open this. I need a Mike's Unboxing dual action stylus pen.
I'll break it for sure.
Very handy for writing purposes and using on a stylus with the rubbery tip. You can get one of these fantastic devices from Mike's Unboxing Discord, or alternatively, you can send £2 via PayPal to the address down there, and we'll send one out to you. Unless you're in Australia, because it costs more than £2. All right, Kath. Cheers, everybody. Happy bloody 50k. RGB glass.
Thanks, Bob.
Cheers, Bob.
We call it Rita.
Ugly Bob says, shake his ass up. Bob, you bastard. GTP says, I got the Ryzen 5 5600X and I overclocked it to 4.9 gigahertz. It's OP and I'm getting 45 degrees C. How do you get 45 degrees C? Do you live in Iceland or some kind of tundra? 45 degrees C is the idle temperature of that. Damn. Ooh. So that today is As Fatol. And if you drink too much, you end up in As Patol.
Or you shave your head.
Or you end up shaving your head like some kind of lunatic. Bottoms up, everybody. Daniel Lopez, I hate how PC companies name themselves Thermaltake or Aerocool and then make cases made of glass with F-all ventilation. I agree. Cheers to that. RGB glass. Isn't that a thing of beauty?
Careful. You know what you're like.
Pew, pew, pew. If anyone's got an iPhone, they know what I mean.
For you.
Excuse me.
Mellow jello.
Better right then. Texway says, hey, Kath and Mike, thanks on the 50k. Congrats on the 50k, not thanks. I was going to say thanks. Thanks, Texway. Texway, also another great YouTube channel. Go and check out the content. Although he's not done much recently. Pull your finger out of your ass and make some content, God damn it, man. What's wrong with you?
Or use a Mike's Unboxing pen.
Or, better still, if you can't pull your finger out your ass, use a Mike's Unboxing pen. It does have dual action stylus and pen. Available from modest retail stores around Downend.
The only stylus pen that opens some ass.
It is the only stylus pen that opens ass, writes on stuff, and also stylus. Oh dear.
Mellow jello cube.
Mellow Jello Cube says, my PC is idling at 36 degrees. That's pretty decent.
No, I want that question. When he plays a game, it shuts off randomly.
Dory says, I have snow overclocked to -5. That's pretty cool. I have a question. My computer shuts off randomly while I play a game. I just got the power supply. It depends what power supply. Excuse me. It depends what camera am I on? Oh, no, well, thank you. It depends what power supply you're actually on and what your system is. It's really hard for me to say specifically what it is. If you're playing a game and it shuts off randomly, when you're playing that game, that is most likely to do with power. Now, it might not be the power supply. It could be the PCI Express slot. Potentially, that is an issue. Could be the graphics card itself has an issue. Quite difficult to diagnose without having multiple spare parts. You can do things like use a different profile in Windows and just run a stress test, see if it does it then with something like Firmark or Unigine Heaven. That way you know that it's not a software glitch, something in your profile which is throwing up an issue. That's always worth checking if you haven't got parts to kind of throw at it. And potentially I'd probably try that anyway just to see. A water cord, okay. Captain Me's Adventure says, this live ass drinking live on YouTube has got you the 50k subs. You have featured in a number of specialist publications.
We did have a porn star on it once.
We have had pornography stars actually in the chat before.
So say.
Allegedly. Last Man Standing UK. That's a great name. Mike, I have that Corsair A500 cooler. Use thermal paste on it or some MX5 I have in the cupboard. I've actually sold it. I've sold the cooler. Is actually.
No, they have it.
Eh?
They have it. Should they use thermal paste?
Oh, should they use for?
I think. That's what they're asking.
Sorry, my mistake. Reel it back in. Yeah, the stuff that comes on it is good stuff. Corsair's thermal compound is pretty decent. MX4, I would say, it's a tough one. If you're really good at applying paste, then the MX4 probably will give you a slightly upper edge. The Corsair stuff, when it comes in with that kind of honeycomb section already pre-installed, I don't think I've ever seen any paste actually go on better onto a CPU. Oh dear, excuse me. Whew, this is some gassy stuff. Cosmic Space Monkey, you bastard. The Corsair stuff is good. The waffle stuff, brilliant. Compresses really nicely. It's a shame with the cooler that they didn't make the flat spot flatter. I would have loved to have taken a little bit more time and effort with that. With
You're pointing at it, but they can't see it.
oh yeah, can you pass it up, please, Catherine? Take two. Pass it up. And here's one I prepared earlier. So this one's actually got a new home, or at least will be going to a new home shortly. One of our Discord members has taken this off my hands. Oh, actually, speaking of which, did you check? Has that come through yet? I digress. But yeah, this, for those of you who don't know, is actually a really, really good cooler. But unfortunately, the base plate of it hasn't been machined flat enough to give it a really good contact areas. So you can either fill up the contact areas with a shit ton of paste, which kind of doesn't really work, or you can spend a bit of time and effort, get some wet and dry paper, some really fine paper, and just take some of the edge off it. And this actually then does improve considerably. Drops quite a few degrees, which is what you'd expect, because it is a monster of a cooler. I really do like this. It's just a shame it's so big, otherwise I would have put it in my own PC. But sadly, I can't put the sides on. So that negates the ability to use it. And still, I'm going water cooler anyway. So hell with that thing. James Miscellaneous, beer close to the laptop and he's flailing around with his sausagey limbs. Oh, brilliant. Daniel says, not sure whenever, but whenever I hear fur mark, I think of furries. I know what you mean. Last Man Standing says, thanks, Mike. No problem, that's what I'm here for. Texway says, if I don't post any new content before next Saturday, I'll give you a 20 quid super chat. You're on. Right, let me know, those of you that are in the chat and are into technology, subscribe to Jay over at Texway and just see if he actually does upload anything. If not, we're all going to have it in for him and we'll all email him because his email address will be on YouTube. So you go into the YouTube bit, look in the contact section, and if he doesn't send out a video, you can all send him emails saying, where's your content? You promised. Sorry, not sorry. Hello, Zachary.
You've now had no bad luck for a lifetime.
Zachary, that is slightly bastard-like to say that. Hi, say hi back or else you'll have bad luck for a lifetime.
Where's the karma in that?
There's no karma there. Where is the karma in that? You're basically...
Chain letter.
Yeah, it's like one of those chain letter things. Zach.
Chill.
Karma, man.
A letter's got space in it.
A letter, that is, there's another one with negative karma points headed your way. Giant Corsair air cooler. I have space in my trash can for that.
We have doors that need
Can't
popping
we?
open.
Can't
for
we all
trash.
just get along? The water cooling variety, the air cooled variety, the Nvidia guys, the AMD guys. Not too sure about the Intel guys, but can't we all just get along? It's Peace Control Zach. Please call me that. Well, change your bloody name to it then.
You'll sing Easy Street, wouldn't you?
We're on Easy Street, and
He's
it
gone
feels so neat.
He's gone now.
I love that. I really do. Ghost Seller says, how much does Bob have to donate for you to sing Crazy Train? I don't even know what Crazy Train is.
No,
Is that by JoJo or something?
Do Easy Street again.
I might just put Easy Street on loop and just leave the stream, just let it carry on. Matthew Day says, that box is very reflective.
Oh, the RGB. I'm getting scared.
Oh yeah. It's like something out of the bill. Doom, doom, doom.
It's on fire.
Aletta says, Corsair is crap, my opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Corsair is a funny one. There's a really, really big following of theirs, and people get really defensive about it, but their stuff is kind of meh at best. The IQ stuff, I hate IQ. It looks nice, and if you want to spend time learning it, it's probably great. But it's really expensive, hard to learn, not really compatible with anything else. So for those reasons, I'm out. Ugly Bob says, I'll chip in a tenner if he sings Crazy Frog. I wish I had the energy. If I had the energy to sing Crazy Frog, I possibly would.
Is buying an A320 or H410 worth it for the long term?
Is buying an A320 or an H410 worth it for long term? It depends what your use case scenario is. Now, I've had people that have bought A320 motherboards back 3-4 years ago. They're still using them today. But their use case may not be the same as yours. So upgradability is a little bit hit and miss. Most of them won't support 5000 series chips for the AMD side of things, and H410 for Intel is basically dead for that generation, this 10th gen only. So you're limiting your options, basically, is what I'm saying. It's fine, it does what it's meant to do, and in benchmarks, it's kind of tiny minutiae of difference, really, depending on hardware you're using. So overclocking is obviously going to be an issue, whereas the H410 probably less so because Intel chips are mostly locked anyway. Is that Gaff?
Sorry?
What's up?
Nothing.
Okay.
Looking. Hello.
So yes, that Ghost Adder says, Mike, you fool. Damn you, Ghost Adder. You're barely out of short trousers, god damn it.
Pantaloons. Look at the cat's back trousers.
Mellow Jello Cube was going to send some pictures of their PC on the Discord. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. I'm still eating my chocolate orange.
Daniel Lopez says, Corsair is kind of like Apple. Average, overpriced, good software, not compatible with lots of stuff, but every few years it releases something that blows everyone away. Yes. Mellow Jello Cube says, me realizing my fans are perfectly sync with Mike's fans RGB. Do you have an MSI system? Oh, I forgot. Actually, MSI headset as well at the top.
Don't particularly like ice cream.
Ghost Seller says, I got my Corsair 4000D Airflow in white for 64 quid. Banger deal. That is a good price, to be fair. I would have probably preferred that over the Fantex P400A. Metal Jelly Cubes, yes, MSI graphics card. Yeah, that is currently being synced through the MSI Red Dragon software, which is really good. I like it. It keeps on saying on my screen that the bit rate is lower than recommended bit rate, but it's not. 3,500 kilobits per second, so 3.5 megabytes, that's fine. Although saying that, chat's finished. I know, Bob says no problems with the stream as far as I can see. That's good. Right, whose questions have I missed? Mark Proctor says, I've just run DDU in safe mode, removed AMD and NVIDIA drivers just in case. Time will tell if it worked. Thanks, Mike. I hope it works out for you. Daniel Lopez says the A500 is a gorgeous cooler. It is pretty nice, actually. Does it fit in the GameMax F15M? No. Which is the case I was trying to use it in. You could fit it in, but you can only put 2 screws in the glass. So it was like on a little bit of an angle and literally touching the glass, which is a shame. Good stuff.
What is the taste of the arse?
What is the ass tastes really good. Did you want some?
Not yet.
Daniel says I'll make sure to post it on Discord when I add my number to my accounts. Okay. CAT Entertainment, Cat Entertainment. Can you come and entertain our cats? Because they're looking bored. They're like lockdown crazy bored. Hi Mike, what ITX case do you recommend? It depends what it is you want to put in your ITX system. If you want a graphics card as well, your options are somewhat more flexible. There's the obvious choice would be the Colink Rocket V2, which is really nice, looks absolutely amazing. Other than that, probably the Cooler Master NR200. That looks pretty good. Looks like it's got some decent potential. If you're going for just a media center system, the InWin B1 is awesome. The InWin A1 actually, I really like that. I would probably get one of those again. Actually, the new version, the InWin A1 RGB, or addressable RGB, yes, very, very cool. And actually, it makes a lot more sense now because it's got a built-in QI charger on the top, which, yeah, back when it first came out, QI charging wasn't really much of a thing, but now it seems to be a lot more commonplace, so that would make a lot more sense now. Cosmic says, yeah, the Noctua D15 fits though, it does. I've actually taken my Noctua D15 out of my system recently, and I've gone back to my Noctua NHU 12S on my Ryzen 9 3900X. And there's not a great deal of difference in it, if I'm completely honest with you. There really isn't, but it does give me a lot more flexibility, although I was cussing like bloody crazy the other day, trying to get out a graphics card. That is what...
Air was as blue as that.
The air was blue as the ass can. It was that colour. I was cussing. Why is it so... like, graphics cards have got to a point now where they've got so many backplates and RGB and all this other stuff that it's getting more and more difficult to actually remove a graphics card from your case. And if you've got a big air cooler, you're pretty much screwed because you can't get your fingers in there. Even I did try with actually a relatively long ass screwdriver. This screwdriver, trying to get in there and prod the retention clip on the motherboard whilst being careful not to scratch anything because otherwise Zodiac could be pissed. And even with that, it struggled. And I got to a point, it's like, no, I've got to take all the fans and stuff out. It's driving me insane. So I ended up doing that, which, yes, not overly pleased with. What's the matter?
Somebody said sign cutting out, but I don't think it's...
Sign cutting out? Is the RGB affecting my microphone pack? Alright, what's my battery status? Of course, I can't see a thing with these glasses on. Can you see what it says? What does it say? It says press to unlock. Checking batteries. These should be good for 8 hours, and I haven't been on that long. Nope, still got 3 bars, we're good. What about that one, Kath?
No, sound is fine.
Sound is fine. Sound is a pound. Okay.
Oliver Squires.
Oliver Squires, Oliver Squires. Where is Oliver Squires? All right. I just built my first decent PC. My Ryzen 3600 runs temps in the high 70s and low 80s when gaming. This is going to wreck my CPU every time I can get away with a stock cooler for a couple of years. Oof. 70s and 80s when gaming is not great. It's not ideal situation. Really, you should be maxing at 70s. Low 70s, really, if you can help it. Although, saying that, Ryzen chips do run a little bit hotter. It's not going to degrade the chip that badly. Although you can never tell with the silicon quality these days. So, like I said earlier in the stream, actually, we are going to be doing some tutorials on undervolting, just to reduce voltages and hopefully squeeze a bit more performance out of processors and stuff. Because I think it's something that a lot of people would be interested in. So definitely stick around, and we will try and do that very, very shortly.
What about Snowman?
Yeah, that's a good option. Is one of the cheap Snowman coolers. If you look on our channel and just search for Snowman, or Kath put a link in the chat description. For £15, at least it was, yeah, it's a very, very substantial upgrade to the stock cooler. And for the sake of £15, it takes the worry away. You don't have to worry about your temperatures getting hot. On a 3600, it's fine. Actually, if you do look at it, let me know what the postage is like, because I'm not sure if the postage has changed. I can't really check in the live stream because I'll have to log into my account. But yeah, it's definitely worth taking a look at. Someone asked a question about pictures.
Where can we find photos of your PC?
Actually, there isn't many pictures of my PC. I very rarely. I used to post them on things like Instagram, but I don't use that anymore. So you might find some on the Facebook group page. Sometimes I'll put them in the My Rig section on our Discord. But that is pretty much where most of it is nowadays.
Oh, actually, we've got a giveaway going in Discord as well, haven't we?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, Kath is reminding me, well done. We have actually got a giveaway going on at the moment. So this week we did a review of the Boya headphones, the monitoring ones. Now, really, they're designed for like content creators because they're a flat profile. But actually, for watching movies, playing games, all that kind of stuff, absolutely perfect because the sound quality is really, really good. So if you want to be in to win those, go over to the Discord, go into the giveaway section, and just click on the thumbs up, I think it is. And basically that'll enter you into the giveaway, which we'll do next Saturday. I was going to do it, I did say in the video it'll be a week after, but because the video only released on like Friday or something, so yeah, that didn't give people enough chance. So if you haven't already, head over to the Discord, go into the giveaway section if you want to win it. Obviously, if you do go in, if you enter it and you win it, and you don't want it, you want to give it to someone else, you can do that if you want to. That is an option as well. So don't feel that by entering, you're possibly taking the option away for someone else to win it, because you can then donate it to whoever you want.
Oliver.
As long as they don't live in Australia, because I've got to send it there and it'll cost money.
Oliver said, cheers for answering my question. I pretty much built the PC from stuff you've reviewed. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, Oliver. Glad to help. Enjoy. Aletta says, it looks like 13,799 is the best I'm going to get on Cinebench R23. I need to upgrade. I don't know what I've got actually. I need to check it.
George Hilton, just up there.
George Hilton, will you be reviewing Arctic's Liquid Freezer 2 420? I don't really see too many reviews for this AOI on YouTube. You probably won't. 420 is frankly a ridiculous size. I don't know of any case which will actually physically fit that. I'm pretty 420, so that is 3 140mm fans, effectively, and a little bit. And I genuinely don't know of any PC case which takes 3 140mm fans next to each other. I can't think of one. I'm trying really hard to think now. Anyone in the chat? Anyone know of a PC case which will take 3 140mm fans? That is asking a lot. Maybe the Thermaltake View 51, possibly, up front.
Arctic stuff coming up.
Yeah, we have got some Arctic stuff coming up. Unfortunately, not quite as elaborate as that. But yeah, I don't. It's one of those things. YouTube is essentially a massive kind of shopping mall, and a lot of creators are kind of getting quite savvy to that. So you don't want to be making videos on stuff which has got very, very limited market appeal, unless your content has something different in the mix. So if you just did a straight review of that cooler, there's a strong possibility that you'll get a few people that will be just kind of curious and wondering how good it'll do. But for Arctic themselves to actually get any return on investment, actual cash in tills or purchases, they would need people to be genuinely looking to buy it. And I don't think there's not a market. I don't even know why they've done it. Arctic seems to be losing their way, if I'm completely honest with you. They used to do some really good stuff, and they still do some cool stuff. But it seems that everything they're releasing recently kind of seems a little bit niche. And almost like they're trying to find a place in the market for themselves when they didn't need to, because they already were competing and actually doing better than most of the bigger boys, especially when it comes to price to performance ratio. So it seems, there seems to be some sort of big change at Arctic, whether it's in the management scheme, ownership or whatever. I'm not sure. They've moved recently. They've kind of consolidated, and I think a lot of their stuff is now straight out of Germany. I don't know whether that's had an effect. I know they've opened up a new US market branch as well. So I don't know whether there's been some kind of influence on them and they're kind of trying to follow some new path, but they do seem to be getting a little bit off track, which is a shame, because like the Freezer 33, well, from the old days, from the Freezer 64, Freezer 7, the Alpine 64s, all that kind of stuff. Even some of their cases from years ago, the Silentio and the Silentio A1 and A2, I think it was. They were amazing designs, and they really did put a lot into it. The coolers have always been brilliant, but they just seem to be making stuff now which, for me personally, it appears to have limited kind of, I don't know, they're not aiming for the mainstream, but that is where they do best, which, yeah, seems a little bit weird. I don't know, maybe things have changed. They've actually sent me one of their new Bionics fans. Only one, so it's a little bit difficult to show how they daisy chain, but anyway. That's another thing where I think they've tried to follow the mainstream by making fans of RGB, because people want it, but they've kind of compromised in too many ways. So now they've got a mediocre performing fan with reasonable RGB with limited options, rather than just being a really good fan for low cost, which is where they excelled. Anyway, let's move back to the other camera. So Ghost Seller says Arctic need a RGB Freezer 34. Yes, they do. That would definitely be where they would save some grace. If they made a Freezer 34 RGB, addressable RGB, and they threw in a controller so it suits everybody on the market, that would be the sweet spot. And it didn't have to be their new RGB fan, because to be honest, it would probably be better if they didn't. But even just an RGB diode somewhere in the fin stack that shines through the logo on the top, that's all it needs. It's a really subtle bit of RGB, and they would be onto an absolute winner. Corsair Obsidian Series 1000D can fit up to 4 480mm rads. So yeah, that exactly proves my point. The 1000D is a ridiculously oversized case.
Is that what you had?
And no, I had the 750, and that thing was bloody huge.
Yes, take your door off every time you want to get out.
Actually, the 750D might do it. Possibly. Don't know. Definitely did 2 140s up front. I don't think it did 3. No, it wouldn't do because it had the CD drive bays. Maybe in the top, possibly. But anyway, yeah. 420mm, getting back to the original statement, 420mm radiators is kind of crazy. 360mm radiators have got limited use, really. And to be honest with you, the same goes with 280s because of that extra width and RGB RAM and stuff. The AIO market sweet spot is 240 because pretty much every case on the market can fit a 240 in somewhere.
You could fit David Blaine
120 is pointless. Hey?
You could fit David Blaine in that case.
You probably could. Yeah, the 1000D is an absolutely ridiculously massive case. Yes. So let's move on from that. Hi, what is good data recovery software for Samsung phones? No idea. I'm completely honest with you. I get tons and tons of emails almost weekly from mobile phone companies trying to sell me or trying to get me to do reviews for iPhone or data recovery for phones. It's like all of them are scams. They really are. You're better off using, if it's an SD card that's in your phone, use something like Recover from the guys who made CC Cleaner. That's as good as anything. I find that to be really good. And it's free. Matthew Day says the AliExpress 3C mints is about 14 quid plus VAT and £17 for a snowman, which is still brilliant. The snowman, seriously, if you're looking for a 120mm cooler for AMD or Intel, the snowman's brilliant. It really is brilliant. And I'm kind of sad that I found it now because it's going to be really hard for any other cooler to match up to it purely because the price of it and the comparison is, there's nothing that really touches it. Unless you start spending like 30, 40 quid, which why spend double to get a couple of... Hello, Flame. Ginger cat. Flame, do you want some? A beer? Flame, do you want some beer? What's that? No? Ignorant. Anyway, moving on. Someone said the only case that might work with is Lian Li 011 Dynamic, probably the XL. Might just do.
Yeah, they don't like that.
Captain Me's Adventures. Anyone remember the old chat rooms were on AOL from back in the days? I never used them. I do. I remember them, but I don't think. Did we? Is that when we met Shed?
No, that was on Kazaa or some kind of downloading.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it?
We asked him to put his uploads up a bit.
Oh yeah.
Because we wanted to go to bed.
Cosmic Space Muffin says the new Meshify 2.
No, that's when we had that Golf Pro bloke and we said we were porn stars.
Right, yeah. Dory says their headquarters are now in Germany. There. Got it. Ahmed says if I buy a Z470 with i7 10 700K, can I overclock with just one 8-pin power? Depends on the board, I suppose so, yeah. One 8-pin power gives you supplementary extra voltage of, I believe, 150 watts. I could be wrong. I think it's 150 watts. So I'm not sure what the socket power is on a Z470. Intel's been kind of on my periphery for a long time. Yeah, so I'm not too sure what the actual voltage supplied to the socket is. But yeah, you certainly will be able to overclock. you won't get kind of as if you're cooling on nitrous or what's the stuff, liquid oxygen or whatever. But certainly you will get a little bit of a click on it. Actually, what processor did you say? Yeah, 10700K, yeah, that's fine. Aletta says I've got two 360mm, 65mm radiators in my system. Yeah, I think 360mm is pretty much the kind of this upper sweet spot for kind of enthusiast cooling. 420 is just ridiculous. Mark Proctor says, Mike, try the 6 heat pipe version of the Snowman. I think I've got one on order. Oh no, I didn't put it through. I was looking. I didn't. No, I've not put it through yet. I've got to get that. I'm going to order a load of them. Glenn says, I'm going to lap it. Yeah, when I was down at the shop the other day, I was looking at the wet and dry, and I was thinking, do I, don't I? I was really tempted to do it. I wish I had a workshop where one of those sanding belts on, but I could just put it on there, get it nice and flat, but I don't. And the actual lapping otherwise is actually somewhat of, not hard work, but laborious and takes quite a long time to do. And I'm a lazy sod, basically, so no. Be good. James Brock says, anyone else think Mike's volume is a little low this evening? Oh, actually, yes it is. There's a good reason for that. I didn't change the bloody volume. Hang on. Oh my god. Luckily I can get up and move around because I've got my wireless mic pack on. See, I'm here. Yeah, which is why I'm quiet. There's always something. 1, 2, is that better? 1, 2, 1, 2. Is that back to my normal levels? Liquid nitrogen, thanks Bob. Help me out. Hopefully the volume is better.
Tom Williams is asking about PSU.
Headphone users beware, sorry about that. Tom Williams is asking about a PSU. What one?
600 watt PSU.
Well, what, do you want one? Do you want to buy one? Let's see, I can't find.
Recommendation, I know.
Tom Williams.
600 watt, but which one?
It depends what your system is and what why you need a 600 watt. Depending on power connectors and all that kind of usual stuff. Yeah, put a Discord link in, Kath, if you don't mind, and yeah, you can join on our Discord and have a chat on there, Tom, and we'll work out what's best for you. Although best might be open to conjecture, because best can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Best could be cheapest, best could be most efficient, could be most cables, could be nicest box.
When do you think the PC market will be stable?
Astrobe, when do you think the PC market will be stable?
Think anyone
Don't know. Yeah, that is a difficult one. I would say probably give it a year. I think a year would be realistic. Possibly, if things go particularly well, November, December, things should look a little bit better. Stocks, hopefully by then, maybe would have given them time to recover. Summer is going to be quieter. This year, because potentially we'll have people possibly, in theory, starting to go back to their day jobs. You never know, that possibly will be happening. I think some people have done anyway. So what we'll probably see this summer as things potentially start to open back up again, we'll be seeing people that have bought PCs for working from home. Those potentially won't be needed any longer, so they'll try and cash in on that, sell the PC off, recoup some of the money spent. So I see summer being pretty good for us enthusiasts who want to get kind of pick up some bargains. So there's probably going to be some PCs. You may also find as well companies that have changed their entire direction. There's going to be people that will possibly be laid off, so they don't need a PC at home or an extra PC at home. So potentially that is going to start flooding the market to some extent, depending if companies decide to change their direction. We know in the UK, stores such as Debenhams, Topman, Topshop, Dorothy Perkins, all those kinds of things, they're all starting to go. So who knows? It's going to be a tricky one. I think the entire retail industry is going to change to probably more so online. I can see that happening, which kind of it changes the whole environment of how PCs are used in the home. When the retail market shrinks, the internet market tends to grow, which is normally what happens. We've always seen that. So as the internet bubble's grown, the retail market has shrunk. So it's going to carry on doing that. If PC, yeah, it may mean that more people are shopping and doing their shopping from home, but I think people still, for most things like clothes, groceries, gifts, all that kind of stuff, people generally like to go out shopping. It's also a social thing as well. So people, if restrictions start getting lifted on the old human malware, people will like to get back out and do things that they used to do and spend their cash. Use cash if you can. So, so that is going to boost the retail market for a bit. PC market, I don't know. It is a tough call. I think, like I said, summertime months, probably, if I was going to hedge a bet, I would say in the UK between probably May and July, there will be some PC bargains out there. I would hedge bets on that. I think stocks then will start to settle down because there won't be so much demand because there'll be other stuff in the used market, which will be enticing. So that's going to slacken things off. As kids go back to school in kind of August, September potentially, that is traditionally when the PC market starts hotting up because people buy new tablets or PCs, laptops going back to school. So that is generally laptops. So the PC market generally stays relatively unaffected. So then you're looking into Christmas. By that time, hopefully, the glut of secondhand stuff in the summer and the selling of more laptop orientated stuff and tablets in the back to school period should hopefully mean for us PC nerds that there should be more stuff in the market available through those times. Now, I don't have a crystal ball. I do have RGB ass, but I don't have a crystal ball. So obviously, don't take any of this advice and say, Mike said it's going to get better in May, so I'm going to wait till May. Because, I don't know. I'm just looking at various different angles. I'm no expert. I'm just Mike. I'm just saying as it is. Can't find that funny. I just stole someone's line. Beautiful. But, yeah, I'm just saying that as is. That is my opinion. I could be completely wrong. If the human malware takes a weird turn, then we could go back to square one and it get worse. Who knows?
Joe Whitley asks, where can I get one of those glasses? They'd make excellent birthday presents for your epileptic friends.
Yeah, I will start breakdanking. Danker.
It's probably that giving you that dizzy spell.
That is what's giving me the dizzy spells. There's bloody Bob. He's ruined my life.
Ugly Bob will have to tell you where to get it.
Yeah, Ugly Bob got that for us. I don't know where it came from, unfortunately.
Thank you, Ugly Bob.
Ugly Bob says, I hate people. I buy everything online, lol. A letter, I hate shopping. John Sullivan says, I hate money. I buy it online. It is.
Cash go in.
Yeah, I like shopping online, but I would love to be able to use cash because I think that they're trying to whittle out cash. They want everything to go digital, which terrifies me. I've got to be honest with you. The thought of just having digital currency for me is not a good thing. I can't see them ever getting rid of cash, but I know they definitely want to because then they can control it.
So keep using it.
So keep using cash, everybody, as much as possible. Or checks, but it's not really the same.
Don't use self-service.
Yeah, don't use self-service tills because you're putting people at work and you're not paid to do it. So let people work.
You
Bastards.
saying that cashier years ago.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, but it's true.
I do work here.
Andrew Constantine. That's a great name, Constantine. I like that. There's a great film called that. It's actually free on Amazon Prime at the moment. If you've not got Amazon Prime already, use our affiliate links and sign up to Amazon Prime and you'll be helping us. We get like £3 or something, which is like awesome. But you also get an extra 30 days free of Prime.
And you can cancel it.
And you can cancel it the day before.
No, you can cancel it the day you
Oh
sign
yeah,
up.
yeah. You actually
days.
You can sign up to Amazon Prime now, literally now, from our Amazon affiliate link, and you can cancel tomorrow, and you still get an entire 30 days of Amazon Prime for nothing.
Without it running over and getting charged.
You don't get charged. It's brilliant. But Amazon Prime's pretty cool, so I'd stay with it. Andrew Constantine says, I bought a custom PC from Chill Blast, which is good at the moment. I have AMD 3700X processor, but they said not to download any AMD software as it causes issues. Is this true? That is a very unusual thing. Potentially, if they've got a custom version of Windows installed on there, there could be an issue with the latest drivers conflicting with their setup, possibly, but it seems a little bit far-fetched to me. I'm actually fascinated. I would love to discuss it further, but probably not. Not here is not the best place. Feel free to drop into our Discord chat, and yeah, that's an unusual one. I know that has happened with Intel systems, with some of the what's the little crappy chip? Not the Crusoe, that's years old. Can't think what it's called, but the recent Intel kind of mobile stroke laptop chips, they don't like the latest Windows update, so potentially. Jay, I couldn't believe it when I went to order a gaming laptop and they wouldn't let me use cash. Yeah, I went into, wrong camera. Oh, hey, what a dick. I went into Courage, which is kind of Courage PC World, probably about...
It was last Christmas.
It was last Christmas. I gave them my money.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
I tried to. Yeah, went to Courage and I bought the Acer Aspire A5. Oh, this one. You put that there. Bastards. Why is it? Computer technology just sneaks up on you. Ooh. You put that there. Yeah, so the Acer Aspire A5
Dyson.
and a Dyson vacuum.
Or is it two Dyson vacuums?
Yeah, two Dyson vacuums as well.
No,
that was after. I got the laptop on its own.
Yeah, so
The vacuums were after.
but they were both cash.
Yeah. So anyway, I went in. This is like £399 advertised, although they charged me more because
all this crap happened.
yeah, before the human malware kicked in. And yeah, I went to pay with pound notes, and they're like, "Oh, hang on a second, I'll have to get a manager." It's like, really? It's a bunch of £20 notes. Just count the damn notes, give them a receipt, and I'll get my shit out of here because it's closing time and I want to get home and it's raining. And like, just have to get my manager to count the money. It's like
20, 40.
Like, let me count it for you. It's not difficult. Just keep on going until you get to 400 and then give me like a penny back. That works for me. Actually, better still, keep the money, keep the change. Just give me the damn receipt and I'll go. Anyway, kids. So yeah, pay with cash. Actually, cash is better as well because credit cards, you can basically, as soon as you leave the store, you can phone a credit card company and say, someone stole my credit card, or I didn't make this purchase, and the company loses out. Use cash. Keep the change, you filthy animal. Yeah, that's from Home Alone.
Little Macaulay.
Someone's talking about AMD. Intel, rather. Christ, I just realised the time. It's 11:15. I should be doing things. Atom Morex is in the house. Hello, Atom. Did John Sullivan just change his profile pic? or my eyesight getting worse?
I don't know. I think it's because it was blocked at one point.
Ashtrobe says, Ashtrobe.
It reminds me.
I want to say ashtray.
Or
I'm sorry.
Or floor drobe.
Or floor drobe, which is where our daughter stores most of her clothes. Ashtrobe says, almost every shop in my country selling PC parts at a higher price, almost like scalpers. Laugh my ass off. RTX 3060 is 329 MSRP and it's 45k BDT, whatever those are, which is basically $529. I know. We're the same in the UK. Today, I still posted on UK Hot Deals. Oh man.
Simon Arden was in earlier.
Absolute trolls. Someone posted a 1660 Super and it was like 279 quid. Now, I was tempted to buy one at, I think, about 200. 279 quid is a lot of money for a 1660 Super. And it wasn't even a good one. It was like the MSI Ventus, which are basically the kind of scrubs end of the market. Anyway. John Sullivan knows your eyesight. Oh, bastard. Atom says, I like that wave. Thank you. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one because I was kind of like cautious not to knock off Glenn's cooler off the desk because now he is the proud owner of it. The last thing they want to do is for it to fall off the desk.
You made the cat jump then.
Did make the cat jump. John Sullivan says, for the record, I'm not 5 years old. Technically, there are another 34 years in there somewhere. Brilliant. James Brock says, keep your love for Be Quiet. Be Quiet is to me like Corsair is to Big O. Whew. Pierre Plays says, I'm not late, you're late, maybe. Lol. I think it's you. I've been here waiting for 2 hours. Where were you? Kryptonite Kraken. What GPU would you recommend for a Ryzen 5 3600? Recommend, or that's a hard one. Personally, at the moment, I'd recommend probably an RX 570 because it's cheap and it gets you up and running. Because I think all graphics cards are overpriced. So, do you want to pay overpriced for a good card, or do you want to pay overpriced for a less good card and potentially have some kind of gas in the tank ready for a later purchase? Who knows? It is a very, very difficult one. I would... it's difficult. It really, really is difficult. Buying PC parts at the moment, I've had this conversation pretty much all day long with someone who wants to buy a PC off me. It's only got an RX 570 in it, which is fine. It plays games, but he wants to do some streaming of Warzone and etc, etc. And it's like, well, it will do it at lower settings, but it's not optimal. But at the moment, the price for the graphics card he wants, that isn't optimal either. So you kind of got to go with what you've got the money for. It's pointless stretching your budget so far that you're kind of out of pocket and in dire straits and you can't afford to eat just for a graphics card. That's stupid. People do that. Honestly, people will do that. There's people in the tech community which prefer to have a better graphics card than actually put food on the table for either themselves or their family. Now, if you're in that position, seriously, like, have a word with yourself. You don't need to do that. There's other ways. A bunda, for one, you could use. But just, yeah, don't do crazy. Don't spend more money than you have. That's a given. You shouldn't do that.
James Brock's going.
James Brock, thank you. See you later. Off to play some War Thunder. I can't get into that. I've tried it. I can't do it. Yeah, I'm happy. Daniel, I'm really happy. I switch between brands all the time. I went with Asus for a long time. Then I kind of went to MSI for a bit, then ASRock, bit of Gigabyte, then back to MSI, mostly MSI now. MSI do make some good motherboards. Let's not beat around the bush. MSI's motherboards, whether it's Intel or AMD, they do make some absolutely shit hot motherboards.
Except Intel.
Yeah. Don't buy Intel.
We have to.
To be honest with you, I'm at the point where I'm going to buy an Intel processor with built-in graphics.
Our viewers go down.
Which is, yeah, the concurrent viewers goes flying down as soon as you mention the I word.
Oh, you're joking.
That is a YouTube thing at the moment. It does happen. I've seen loads of people. I've experienced it myself. You see someone do an Intel video, shit views. Intel laptop, shit views. AMD laptop, AMD processor, AMD motherboard. Yay! Everyone's like, woo, flying the flag. It's insane how much hate there is for Intel right now.
I met the other down.
Daniel O'Neill. Hello, all my games stutter. I have a nice setup and I'm confused about what's wrong. I followed a tutorial about changing values in the Windows 10 files, which worked for a few hours. Now it's back. Daniel.
Couldn't sing earlier.
Yeah, I know.
Can't stop.
Daniel, I did a video on fixing stutter for NVIDIA graphics cards. I think it's actually for all video cards. Kath will try and put a link in for you now. It's a simple thing. It's basically about releasing memory swap file or cache files. You can try that. If not, feel free to join us on our Discord and yes, one of the kind Discordettes will try and help you out. Go through a few things. It's general fault finding, making sure you've got the latest drivers for your kit, making sure you're not trying to drive your graphics card too hard, maybe a bottleneck in the display system, maybe a bottleneck in the SSDs or hard drives. Could be anything. Bottlenecks are not unusual, and to get stutter in games definitely happen. Another thing you can do as well is if you're using either a Radeon or NVIDIA card, which is kind of likely you're going to be using one of the two, you can go into the control panel or the kind of the status monitor and just have a look and see what your latency time is, your display latency. That has a massive effect. So if you have a display latency of over kind of 30 milliseconds, it appears to be stutter. Even though you could be at high refresh rate and you could have really high frames per second, if you've got a really high kind of distance between each frame physically being drawn, it will seem like it's stuttering or there'll be some latency. So the idea is to try and reduce your screen latency as much as possible to about 8 milliseconds if possible or lower, and then it will seem as if it's a lot smooth, like buttery smooth. And the best way of doing that is either reduce your frame rate, so put a cap on it, or just tweak your system, depending on what it needs doing. It's a long, laborious process, and there's various steps you have to go through. But check out the video, Kath's posted it in the link. If not, yeah, step into the Discord and we can discuss it. Yeah, VSync is also quite useful to do, as Cosmic says. Although weirdly, VSync actually adds a bottleneck of its own, because the graphics card, if it's quite a powerful one, will actually get to the VSync level and then kind of bottleneck itself. So it depends what resolution you're at. If you're VSyncing at kind of 75 Hertz on a FreeSync type panel, generally it's not as noticeable. If you're VSyncing on a 144 or 165 Hertz display or higher, because your frame rate is at such a high rate anyway, actually having it kind of trying to race to that frequency and then get slammed, it has a negative effect of increasing latency. So NVIDIA cards definitely press Alt and R to bring up performance and then go into advanced, and on the right hand side you'll see things like your latency speed. That really does help tune the system for optimal performance. Daniel Neal, awesome, thank you, subscribed. Welcome to the fam. I said fam. Oh.
You used to put unbox fam.
Unbox fam, I did, I know. That's bloody Kev's fault. I blame Kev. Waldo says, Mike, do you think PC prices will go down by August? Well, yeah. I did have a little bit of a monologue about that earlier, so kind of, yes. probably August might be the upturn, depending on how things go. I think the sweet spot for buying PC parts is going to be May, June, possibly July, the holiday season. Because people that want to go on holiday, if they can go on holiday, or if they want to take holiday, they may need extra money, so they'll be selling old stuff. Possibly people won't be buying as much as well, so could be. Pierre Plays has donated £2 and says, how much are you selling that PC for? Which PC was that? I got two PCs that I was kind of in and around selling. The one that used to be the streaming PC behind me, that's on Facebook at the moment. If you search in Bristol and just put a PC or crap PC, you'll find it. Although saying that, I think I delisted it. Possibly. Someone's supposed to be picking up tomorrow. But if not, I was supposed to be. They did want that one behind me, which has gone to sleep again. Damn it! Wake up. That's better. I feel happy now. Hectic16 says no, we are screwed. We buy them in 2022. 2022. That seems like so far into the future, but it's next year. Wow. Blake says, just noticed 50k subs, congrats. Thank you very much. Mellow Jelly Cube, does Gigabyte have a control sensor so you don't have to keep turning it on and off? I'm not sure what you're referring to. There is a control sensor, but I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I think he means the 570 GPU you were just discussing.
Oh, the 570 is not for sale. It's in a PC, which I am selling. Pierre plays. Pierre, hit us up on Discord at some point. I have got another PC, which is built to sell. So.
Only for Fortnite and Minecraft, nothing crazy.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, Mellow Jello Cube, I'm referring to where you can go into the BIOS and all that stuff, and the MIT and fan settings. Yes, you can. There is the Gigabyte, I think it's the Gigabyte control sensor. I don't think it's called anything elaborate. I did have it on the previous PC, otherwise I would have shown you it. Right, that is, I think we've gone on for way too long. We've overstepped our mark, as we generally tend to. So I think we're going to have to, yeah, bring this to an end. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed yourselves. Thanks all again. Getting us to 50k is pretty insane. I still struggle to believe that has actually happened.
Can I just quickly interrupt Daniel Lucas? Wants you to review that, but I've written it down.
All right, Daniel, yeah, Kath's written it down, so we'll have a look. And Hilly14HD, recased my PC with the Colink Phalanx V2 the other day whilst watching your past stream from a few months ago. Thanks. Awesome. App Center, that was it. Thank you, Alien Breed. Bill Taylor says, I thoroughly enjoy watching. You sad, sad man.
But thank you.
Thank you for spending your Saturday evening with us. Could be worse. You could be watching Strictly Come Dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Or Casualty. Oh, AKV, as they say in Wales.
Come on, defund.
Defund the BBC.
We're so horrible.
I didn't say that out loud. Yes. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for the super chats. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. As per usual, we will be on the Discord chat for the post-stream chat, if anyone wants to have a chat, while I de-rig all of this crap and probably talk a load of nonsense. You're more than welcome. There was some talk of Akia Shadow doing a stream, doing some, I was thinking Quidditch, but that's Harry Potter. Jackbox party games, but doesn't appear to be alive, so maybe not. He is suffering, as a lot of people are at the moment, with the old sad disease and the blues and all that, so possibly next time. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining the stream. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you have, don't forget to smash the like button on the way out. If you're not subbed, obviously make sure you subscribe and you'll be notified of future video releases. But that is pretty much it for tonight, so all I can say is thanks for watching. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we will catch you in the very next stream. Thanks for watching. And you're back in the room.